It's recorded for the clown. We are recording, so. Got my little GM hat on, which is already way too hot. Really, really hot. I have to take it off already. So, just for everyone to know that I did put it on very briefly. Good. Is that done? Okay, so where did we leave off last time? We just finished the fight, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, we'd had some celebratory beers, I think, yes, with a couple of the militia.
Paid for by the poor guy from the hotel.
Yep, paid for by the guard who you got drunk.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was just making some notes and stuff before we sort of stuff that we'd gone through and bits that we sort of left out. Or just I made some notes stuff. So I just thought we'd go through kind of where we are in the story, and I've watched a couple of videos and stuff just to sort of remind you guys what you kind of have done or wanted to do, which will kind of I think might influence where you want to go. So if you kind of tell me, just tell me what you want to do or where we are kind of story wise with you, and I'll just fill in any gaps because obviously we had quite a big break, so I don't care who goes first.
I would say in the immediate term, claim as much renown for what we've done as possible. Try and make sure we definitely get some sort of...
Yeah, I think aiming to speak with the Graf, the Goblin guy, the Goblin Killer guy.
That's Lord Alderwald. Alderwald von Wallenstein.
There's probably others we can...
Yeah, the Graf is... The Graf isn't in town. And doesn't actually spend much time in Auerswald, which you know, but his uncle, Lord Aldebert, does. But yeah, he's the one that you've got out and done like a couple of little goblin, like in downtime stuff. You had some sort of bandit hunting with him and bits like. But he's the one who looks after the town effectively. But yes, he would be a good start for that. You've also got, obviously, you've got the Lowhavens, who's the halflings who you've been working with, who I don't think you've spoken to them since the delivery box.
So we need to go back to them and tell them who it was delivered to, don't we? That was part of the job, wasn't it?
That was part of the job.
That asked us to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. You also had the Red Leaf Bandits, which were the guys or the folks that you met outside in the sort of out in the forest, who told you they'd been effectively banished by the Graf, actually by the Graf, not by his uncle. And they said they sort of don't want to be anymore. So that's another kind of group of people that are around. I don't think there's any other major players that you've interacted with since then.
I kind of want to speak to Sister Francesca, though, because I kind of in the belief that maybe because she seemed quite nice, so maybe she doesn't know what the other sisters are up to. I think I kind of want to find out whether that is correct or not. Okay,
yeah, you got the sisters. Who's the other sort of main people you've met?
And Rold upset the Melon Merchants Guild.
Rold has deeply upset the Melon Merchants. He's known as
rabble roused as well.
You did rabble rouse, yes, you rabble roused to have at some point. It will be a lot easier for you to raise a
army of undead,
a potentially angry mob against the witch hunter, who is no longer in town.
What's the name of that witch hunter?
That witch hunter you met was called Tomasz Becker. He was an apprentice witch hunter. He didn't have the full regalia of the witch hunter when you met him, and he was. You obviously don't know the ranks and stuff or each individual ranks, but he made it clear that he was an apprentice witch hunter.
Was he just a guy in a white vest that was really angry,
shouting?
Didn't really have all the facts, but. Like,
he just came up and went, it's rigged. Witches are rigged.
Make Reichland great again. That's all.
Yeah, Make Bright look great. Yeah, he has absolutely no evidence there's witches.
I
But
just
there's
think we shouldn't have any witches. What do you mean? Whoa, coming over here.
There are definitely witches here. Do you have any evidence? Nope. But there's definitely witches.
Definitely.
Yeah, so they're the kind of main players you've got that you met. But yeah, so just cutting back to where we were, you had your nights of drinking and stuff with the guard who played. Paul, you went and did a little bit of reading before we finished, didn't you?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't feel great doing that. Normally, like, what I will say is, like, doing stuff like that normally wouldn't really give you points like that, and you also wouldn't get like particular results and stuff from readings because you're a fortune teller rather than a seer.
Yeah.
But because of particular things happening where you are and stuff, you are getting them, but it might not be something that happens all the time.
That's fine.
Just so you know. Mark, can you make your healing test actually overnight? Because unless you guys want to go out and do something in the night, I'm assuming you're sleeping through to the morning. Yeah. No one else. I don't think anyone else is injured, are they?
Still a little bit, but
okay. Yeah, but you've done. Yeah. So anyone who's injured and sleeps overnight can roll endurance plus 20. If you pass it, you get that many wounds back by how much you pass plus your toughness bonus. That's it.
No, I do not pass. So
Okay.
I am going to start off straight away spending a fortune point.
Yep, fair.
extra fortune point.
A fail, even worse. No, this isn't hitting well. Didn't botch, but
yeah, clearly you got hit really hard, and it was only like 3 or 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
So
just walk it off, mate.
Just walk it off. So although you've had a good night's sleep, you still feel like absolute. You feel like being hit by a 10-foot giant, which you have. So
yeah.
Yep. So you wake up the next morning. There's, unsurprisingly for this campaign, nothing happens in the night. You have a nice sleep. So you have a lovely little sleep. Yeah. What's going on? There's nothing's gone wrong. You do also have your little people that you picked up as well, actually. So remember we had Finn, who was the boatman, who kind of like came along with you for a bit, didn't he?
Yep, and we decided to keep him.
Yep, we've also got the two. They were ex-guards around the tavern, the coach stop that you stopped at.
We still got them knocking around.
Yeah, of course, yes.
We never got around to naming them or anything. They were just these kind of two back NPCs that we said are just. I'm gonna say they're just kind of there if you need them for stuff, but they're not good enough to like join in fight. At the moment, they're not necessarily like good enough to do anything, but they are kind of. But like, I'm happy for you to use them for stuff.
In drinks.
Yeah, just food if you want to eat them. But I do need names for them, so you're gonna have to give me a name for them.
Starter and main.
Who?
Quackadiddy Blip.
Black Quackadiddy Blip. Yeah.
I think go for Wrath and Bold.
Bold. Yep, that works for me. Yep. Okay, Wrath and Bold. There we go. They're your little mates.
Can they look like Bold as well?
They look like really, really generic NPCs. Like they look as generic as you want. Like you wouldn't be able to if there was a line of NPCs, you'd only be able to spot them because they'd look slightly more generic than everyone else.
They blend into the background.
Yeah, they wouldn't have it. Like they've got no noticeable scars. They've got no eye patches. Their hair's just brown. Like they're average.
I like the idea that is stealth 100.
Yeah, stealth 100. You just look really unassuming, which is weird as for an NPC.
Trench coats or anything?
No, absolutely nothing.
Not carrying katanas.
No, but I'm going to say that
receding hairlines.
But I am going to put them down as henchmen. So you've got a couple of I think henchmen. Like that's fine. They're henchmen. You've got some henchmen. Cool. So you have a nice little sleep. Helmet, you don't feel any better.
Yay. Paul, are we assuming you told me about what you saw? Did you tell us about what we saw? Or are you keeping that to yourself?
Which bit?
The handing off the baby to the...
I don't. Well, Beth definitely knows. No, I definitely did tell you, actually. I don't think I told Raoul, but I don't mind Raoul. No, I definitely remember telling you.
Yeah, he told me.
Right.
So you're awake. It's the next day. I'll leave up to you to discuss amongst yourselves. Create the scene. You're in your room, and you're. Where are we gonna do? It's too early.
Do we want to go and track these guys to the forest?
Yes, you did actually.
They thought I forgot.
Yeah, so you did. You did. It hasn't rained overnight, as we said. So potentially there's still tracks. There's nothing natural would have removed those tracks.
I don't think the people in the city that we want to speak to are going to go away anywhere, but the tracks might do.
As wise than I, yes. I will go fetch my horse from the stables, and we'll meet you at the gate.
Okay, put your clothes on first.
Yeah, okay.
It's not cold out. It's night. It's summer.
Right. So get kitted up. Yeah.
Okay, so
bring the henchmen.
Bring your henchmen. Spend some time getting kitted up.
Yeah, because they can carry stuff.
Yeah, they can carry stuff. Yeah, they're there. They're basically some carrying capacity, if you need.
Henchmen, carry my horse.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention their strength 80. So they're really unassuming looking, but they've been down the gym.
Well, they're henchmen, aren't they?
They've been in lockdown, haven't they? So they've just been benching. That's it, just constantly.
Benjamin.
Fucking one for Sigma. One for Calfra. Cool. So you want to go out and
so he broke his connection.
Yeah, it was good. So you want to go out and follow the tracks, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you head down to. I'll put the map up as well. Actually, that'd be quite useful. Map.
Yeah, because there was a party that came in. We fought towards the north of the town, but you sort of followed some as well. Right.
Yeah, I followed them. They went out the south gate where they had clearly planned to do that because they'd murdered the guards before they left.
Have we confirmed they were murdered or that they're just missing?
Well, just missing, but probably murdered. Let's go with missing. We could go and find out, but I don't really think that changes anything.
No, not at all.
So you should be able to see the screen, yeah?
Yeah.
So you guys were... Can I edit it? There we go. No, not that silly Billy. Oh, there we go. So you kind of around here. You're around here. This is where they came out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's draw some stuff on. There we go. This is where the tracks were. This is where you left Paul, where you kind of stopped. You stopped following them basically. Some people came from around here, is where they met. So they'd obviously, presumably, been hiding in those trees. The chase was kind of through there. The fight, the second fight was up here. There was a fire. Yep. The fire was here. That's where you killed the big guy. I don't think there's anything else of note. Obviously, the temple is here. The temple of Shalier is here. So this is the path that they took out, was basically along there, under the bridge, around to there. The guy that you found that you saved, that had been knocked unconscious, basically, was sort of around here. There's more houses and stuff there, but he was sort of there, basically. So that's where stuff happened last time. So what are you doing?
Going to these tracks, aren't we?
Okay. Making your way through the town in the morning, you get a bit more of a view of like how much damage the fire's done. There's not a huge amount down here, but certainly where the fire originated from, the bit where you dragged the guy out from, that's where it's the most damaged. There isn't any that affects the temple, but that's probably because it's one of the few stone buildings in the town. But certainly some of the wooden buildings around there, one is quite badly damaged. A few of them are probably going to need certainly a few days, if not a week or so of work to get them fixed. And there are people who are already kind of starting to make the repairs and stuff on them. You can see people bringing wood from around the rest of the town. There's a halfling there. It's not one that you recognize. There's a halfling there who seems to be making a deal with someone for kind of bringing wood and stuff through. There's also a member of the town guard there. Again, not one that you recognize, but there's a member of the town guard who seems to be vaguely overseeing the kind of repairs, but they're not helping out. They're just kind of making sure things go to plan. Everyone roll intuition check.
Just natural, or are we doing?
Yeah, just do it your standard. Yeah.
3 degrees of success.
Okay.
Strangely for me, 2 degrees of success.
Nice.
1 degree of failure for me.
Okay. So anyone who passed?
I got a crit.
You got a crit pass.
I got an 11.
Okay, nice. My screen's not shared anymore, is it? No.
No.
Anyone who passed,
2 degrees.
there's a definite feel of tension around. Like there's a real feel that this is everyone is a lot more on edge than especially than you've seen them before. Bandit attacks and mutants and stuff. The mutants and bandits aren't uncommon in the Empire. They are very common, really. For them to be this brave is incredibly unusual, especially unless it's like a large raiding party. You get the impression that certainly anyone who passed gets the impression that people here really they're just not used to it. It's very out of the blue, and they're particularly surprised. And you can hear rumors and stuff. People are talking about rumors about what happened. Some people are saying it was orcs, and some people are saying it. The kind of standard street talk. But there's enough people that are mentioning that it was mutants. There's enough people that are saying, they've heard the dark power. The dark powers it's a bad omen. You hear a lot of that basically. You got a crit, didn't you, Ad? But yeah, so you're a soldier. You fought before, so you know that townsfolk are generally they're a bit like this. If stuff happens, they're a bit like that's what happens. But you get the feel, there's a couple of people you can see they've got the look about them. They've probably been in the army like a long time ago. Like a couple of the older people, they maybe there's something about them. They feel like they're sold. They're veterans of the Imperial armies, and even they're a bit shocked. They're a bit put out by this. You notice maybe like a little sigil or something, like an old army's effectively a medal sort of thing, or someone who's clearly seen combat. They're also very put out by this. This is clearly not something that these people were expecting, or certainly not now.
Okay.
Oh, losers.
Keep that to myself.
Fair. So you make your way down to the tracks, or where the tracks were, or where you think there would be tracks. Sorry. Who's going to do the tracking?
What are we looking for? Is it outdoor survival we're looking for?
Yes, because it's outside of the it's outside of the walls and stuff. If it was inside, it'd probably say different. But yeah, out. Let's go.
I have a skill of 37. What do you have, gentlemen? Oh,
56.
I've got an okay outdoor survival one. I reckon I know how to navigate the forest. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you're the thief taker. I'm just expecting you to do it.
More importantly, I think Helmet thinks he's really good at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our belief is strong. Yeah.
Really good.
No, fair enough. He should be our party tracker. Yeah.
So there's as you get
fast.
By how much?
By 2 points. No degrees.
Okay.
I'm on 35 and 37.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's no negative modifiers on it. So there's not, people do come in and out of here, but it's not, it's not frequented a lot. There's a few people around. You do see 2 guards here now, but they're kind of standing at posts, and they're fairly nervous. They're alert, and they notice you, and as you're looking around, they look quite suspiciously at you because they're very obviously on sort of high alert, basically. But one of them nudges the other one. He's, no, it's fine. And then you go, all right, fair enough. You don't hear what he says, but they don't seem to give you any bother, and they seem to sort of be quite impressed by it when they see you. You do see some tracks that go out, so you're going to be able to follow. There was 2 you chased after, wasn't there, Paul?
I think it was one person met 2, so it was 3.
Sorry. So you had the one, and the 2 came out of the wall. Yeah, sorry. So Helmet, you see the tracks. It's quite easy to see where they've come out of the water as well. Largely because it's actually quite strange tracks. Like you would assume one of the feet is actually quite a bit larger than the other one, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to track. Yeah. And the other 2 that come out of the woods, or they come out of the trees nearby, they look fair in terms of tracks. As you get out, the forest isn't actually too much further away because of the nature of Reichland. The forests are thick, dense forests, and they're quite close to everything. But you probably get maybe half a kilometer out before it gets quite thick, and then you start to get to the edge of the forest. Really, certainly the forest starts to get a lot thicker, but you can still make these tracks out. But they do then start to go off into the forest. You notice they are, as you follow them round, they don't continue. If this is south on the map, I have to double check it in the actual thing. They don't actually go all the way south. They do loop around as if they're going back up towards north, basically. So they don't go in a straight line. They're clearly, that's where the meeting point was.
Sort of coming out past the exit to the town, then going.
Yeah, let me. Okay, I'll share my screen basically again. Let's be blue. So they come out of here. They go down quite a bit further than I can draw.
Sharing, mate.
Sorry. There we go. So they come out of here.
Yep.
They go down quite a bit further than I can draw.
Yep.
But they sort of cut across and effectively loop up, round, and go back up towards that way.
What, quite close to the wall or far away?
They pretty much stick to the forest. Yeah, they stick to the edge of the forest as much as they can. So you can see the footprint. They don't go too far into the forest until they have to. So when they go up here, they then go into the forest.
Okay.
Make of that what you will.
And that in that direction, is that the forest where we went to on the boat mission, or is that somewhere where we've not been yet?
You have been there. I'm going to actually.
Yeah, because that's where we would have gone up to ambush the boat party, because that's where we came in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just was checking which way it was.
Okay. So you're here in Oswald.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you ambush the boat party. This little X here, this little swords here. This is the Red Leaf Bandit camp.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you had the little fight with in the tavern, in the coach stop. Sorry. So basically, the tracks effectively come out here, go up towards the forest, or come around like that. Sorry, up towards the forest, get to here, and then they can't really stay They can't stay. They have to go into the forest because it starts getting too close, and that's where you lose them around here roughly.
But that is kind of like in the area where when we stayed overnight on the way to the camp and saw the mutants.
We did see. We saw something in the woods. Yes.
Yeah, I saw mutants in the woods and didn't wake you.
You went that way.
Okay.
Because you were because you had to cross the river.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a similar area. Yes.
Have we been to the Red Leaf Bandit camp? We haven't.
Yeah. They were the ones who they were like the middlemen for the drop off.
Is it worth seeing, so I'll say to the guy, is it worth, look, we're not that far from that camp. Is it worth seeing if they saw or heard anything last night? I'm also concerned that they actually might be involved.
Yeah, I think it might be worth it.
Yeah, okay.
When we went to the Red Leaf camp, they didn't have mutants like amongst them, did they?
No, not I remember.
We could see.
No, they didn't. You didn't see any. A lot of the chat they had was about. In fact, what you did see was they had a pile of mutant heads in the corner because there's still a bounty on mutants.
Were those heads still alive? Because if they were alive, that's a problem.
Chattering away. No, but they did say they had a bounty of them. So from the time you were there was no impression that they were mutants, but
they also had a doctor there, which could be useful for Helmet.
They did have a doctor, and you did also give them half of the medicine stuff that you did also give them a bunch of stuff. Yeah, you gave them a bunch of supplies because the supplies that you took from the raid, you gave them like half the medicine and a couple of bits. So
that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to go to the Red Leaf Bandits?
Yeah.
Cool. So it's
really far. Or...
It's probably going to take you a couple of hours. You're probably going to get there about midday, I guess, because you're on foot. So yeah, you're probably going to get. If you want to go, it's probably the tracking probably took about an hour and a half just to kind of go around the way it loops, and then from where you are, I mean, you came down the river, so it would have been quicker. But you would assume it's probably 2 or 3 hours to go off into the forest, assuming you can find a way again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Cool. How are you going through the forest? Swinging. Okay.
Okay.
Is there a Tarzan skill? Yeah. Oh, well, you can use Tarzan or you can use George of the Jungle.
I've got George.
Okay. In that case, just use Tarzan, I guess.
I've got Dodge.
Dodge? Can I dodge it? Yeah. So it's just if you're like trying to be particularly stealthy or stomping through shouting, basically.
I don't think we're making any particular effort to hide ourselves. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, just being kind of just moving, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you know that the bandit camp isn't in the thickest part of the forest, but this is Reichland. The forests here are huge. You know the trees they start to get thick, and you know the deeper you go into the forest, even in the middle of the day, it can look like it's dark. Basically, you don't have to go that far in to get there, but you certainly, it certainly starts to look a lot darker the more you go in. You do see shapes off in the distance, but that's, when you look again, you're not quite sure what was there. You hear animal sounds in the forest. It's not, the forests of Reichland are not particularly nice places. You just hear an elephant, one of the famed Reichland elephants. Okay, so you make your way towards the bandit camp. Like I said, you sort of it's midday-ish. The sun's going to be roughly at its highest, or definitely its highest in midday. That's how it works.
That's how suns work. Yeah,
that's how suns work, isn't it? I've seen them. I've seen the sun. That's how it works.
They go up and then they come.
They go up. They come down.
Yeah, go down.
You are so well travelled.
Yeah, I have done quite a lot of research for this game.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to do quite a lot of research into how the sun works, so I can make sure that you guys are getting really accurate storytelling. It's about midday, yeah, but it's still quite dim in the forest. Like despite it being coming up to summer, it's still fairly dim where you are. As you approach the camp, you do hear a voice that says, "Halt! What's your business?" You can't see anyone yet. Although, to be fair, roll perception, you might be able to see them.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. By 2 degrees.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So no one else sees them. Helmet, you can see someone fairly well concealed in, it looks like a bush, but it's actually like it's a concealment place. They put leaves and netting over it. It's actually it's a small ambush place. It's about 30 foot in front of you. They do have a bow aimed at you.
I look straight at him. We're looking for the mercenary camp. We've been here before. We dropped off some medical supplies last time we were here.
He looks, and he does look at you, and he steps out. You don't sound like Sterlanders.
Who are?
I was gonna say, you might
Yeah,
right.
we're not.
No, yeah.
He looks a bit confused at you.
When you're travelling through somewhere, it's normally good to change your appearance occasionally, isn't it?
He's like, he looks at you like, he looks over at Rold. Oh yeah, I do recognise him. All right, but you're gonna have to leave your weapons outside.
It's fine. Look at the others.
And he does like a little, woohoo! And a couple more guards. A couple more guards come from out the camp, or a couple more soldiers come from out the camp.
The animal noises, I get it.
Yes, that's how they communicate. That's how Tarzan talks to the animals. It's all about Reichland elephants, mate. He comes out the camp and they sort of take you to the entrance. The camp is as you remember it, which I can probably show you again because I've got it on my screen. Lovely little camp. Maps are nice, aren't they?
I remember it having like tree houses and stuff like that in it.
There you go. That's how you remember it. The Red Leaf Bandit camp. They've got a big flag on the bottom right, apparently, so you know that's them.
So we wouldn't have suspected it from the tree with the red leaves.
No, you wouldn't. The maple tree, you wouldn't expect it from that. The camp looks similar to it looks how you remember it. Basically, it looks like that. However, the sounds of injured, which you heard before, there seems to be a lot of wailing coming from inside the camp.
Oh, maybe they've been attacked.
Or maybe they're sheltering people.
Maybe.
But the guards do say to you, you can come in. And one of them goes, I recognise you. But you're going to have to leave those swords out here.
Yeah, I'll happily hand over my stuff.
Yep.
Very well.
Yep.
Rolf, Berth, do the same.
Yep.
Okay.
Rolf and Bert.
Whatever.
Bold and Ruff.
Bolton Roof. Okay.
Bold and Ruff. They hand over their spear and his bow.
Next one's getting called Rolf there.
Rolf's fine. And then they head into the camp. I'm not going to make you a perception check. There are people sitting around. There's a lot of light wounds and stuff around. You've been here. You've been here before, and you know that the camp is made up of some people who are clearly ex-soldiers. Helmet, you noticed last time there's definitely some criminals here because there's plenty of gang tattoos around that you've seen.
Yeah.
Nehemiah, there's definitely a couple of, as you said before, there's definitely a couple of traveling folk, people that the wagons and stuff that you would have gone along with sometimes. Like I said, Rold and Bert, you recognise a couple of soldiers were here before. Almost no one here is sort of unharmed. A lot of people are bandaged in some way. A lot of people are sporting minor wounds, and you can definitely hear the sounds of pain coming from the little mine entrance here, which you know was the doctor's makeshift surgery, basically.
Yeah, that's a lot more injured than last time, isn't it?
There was like one. Yeah, there was like a couple of people last time, and now most people have. Certainly, there's a feel here that most people have in the past 24 hours had some sort of physical exertion.
I'm assuming we're being sort of escorted in.
Yeah. So you kind of you make your way through the camp, and one of them motions and goes, "I suppose you want to speak to the boss, do you?"
Is Lucas here?
Lucas is not in the best shape, but he is.
No.
Yeah, you might have to wait a little while.
No, of course. We'll wait for him.
And he points you over towards the tree.
What's happened?
There was one of them just nods, returns to you and says, "Last night, the forest just came alive. It was one of the worst we've seen. A large party made their way downriver. Some of them stopped on the way here. Beasts, mutants, disgusting. He spits on the floor.
They attacked the town as well last night. We fought a number of them off.
Yeah, we thought they might be going that way. We put the fires out here and hoped they might just go past because the sounds were bad, but unfortunately we weren't lucky enough. We had to dig a few more graves this morning."
Did you catch anyone on the way back from town? Would have been a good few hours later. Did you have patrols out really late?
We one of the scouts, young Andreas, said that they heard a lot of hoofbeats running through the forest last night on the way back, but we basically stayed in camp, defended the borders defended the edges as best we could, and prayed to Sigmar to deliver us, and thankfully he did, but we had to earn that deliverance. He makes a little comment symbol across his chest.
You have made the morning. How many of you still here are able to fight?
He goes, I'm not a doctor, sir. You'd need to speak to Jakob and the hair doctor, but a dozen maybe less.
Very good, very good.
I'm sorry, sirs. I need to go back to my post, but I'll inform Jakob that you're here.
No, of course. If there is anything approaching, do let us know. We'll gladly fight alongside you if needs be.
Thank you, sirs. Thank you. It's good to know there's still people like you in the Empire. And he goes back off to the post. The other one goes running into the mine at the top right where the doctor is. But for the time being, you are sat under the tree. As I say, as you look around, the more you look around, you can see that everyone's kind of bandaging light wounds or vaguely treating kind of small injuries. There are 3 fresh graves that are dug about 20 foot to sort of to the north of where you are, that are just marked with very simple pieces of wood with a hammer sort of engraved in them quite badly. The camp's not in a good way. There is as of yet no sign of Jakob.
I'm not sure we're going to find out much then. I was wondering if they'd have caught them on the way back, maybe, but sounds like they had troubles of their own.
I think they're probably counting themselves lucky that they survived.
Yeah.
But if there's that many of them, they must have been here for a while. Like, what? Why last night?
And it's because it wasn't just a distraction in town. Because they wouldn't. Why would they attack here as well? There's always something bigger going on.
I think this camp was probably just on the way.
Yes, they just were unfortunate.
It's a large warband moving through. It's going to attack anything. And seeing the way that these people think about mutants, they are not going to. They're probably going to defend themselves quite strongly.
But the thing that gets me is on the way from where? Like, where have they come from?
Yeah, that's my issue.
The north. Mutants always come from the north.
But would it be easier to travel along the river?
I don't know. Those 2 bird twins seemed quite fervent when they were talking about the prince going as well. They seemed like, I don't know.
What is the time of day? Just after midday-ish?
Yeah, it's just after midday. Yeah. It's again, I'll just go. It's fairly common knowledge that there are mutants and beasts and stuff in the forests of Reichland. Like, it's not uncommon for there to be groups and bands and stuff, and that's fairly common knowledge. So you wait for a bit, probably 10-15 minutes. No one gives you. Everyone's really quite like concerned with themselves, and someone's cooking over the fire, someone's making some food for the camp. The feeling in the camp is certainly one of not victory. It's almost defeat in the camp. They've clearly lost a couple of good people.
Quite muted.
Yeah, it's very muted. Yeah, whereas last time it was quite, they were sort of plucky underdogs last time, whereas this time it feels like they've really been knocked. But afterwards, Jacob comes out. He comes hobbling out of the doctor's mine, and he comes walking over to you. He's walking with a stick, so he's got a makeshift kind of crutch, basically, that's been made for him. He doesn't look great. He's clearly taken quite a bad leg wound. Other than that, he doesn't look too bloodied. He doesn't look anything else. Ingrid, who was the knight that you met, or the woman that was dressed like a knight, basically, that was with him, she's got a huge bruise on her face. I think I've shown you Ingrid, I think.
Yeah, show us again, though.
Let's show you again. Yeah.
It feels like it's been ages.
That's Ingrid.
Oh, yeah.
She looks like Felicia Bay.
Yeah, she's the big, like, Brienne of Tarth type. She's like 6'5", and she's wearing armor that actually looks quite knightly as well, which is unusual. She does appear to be wearing the sort of armor you would expect to see on a knight, which is quite unusual for this part. Let me get old.
Lord, does she have any symbols on her, like knightly order symbols?
She doesn't have any knightly symbols that you recognise. And there's Lucas. She doesn't have any knightly symbols that you recognise, no. But there's clearly some, as you're specifically looking for it, there are clearly symbols that have been like potentially removed from the armor or scratched off of the armor. But you don't see anything on her at the moment, no.
Cool.
So yeah, you couldn't tell what order she was from or whatever like that.
Cool.
But she has got a huge bruise on her face. She's obviously been hit pretty hard. Her armor's dented. She's pretty battered. Her sword is clean, but you can see that there's it's a bit notched. So it was quite a fight that came in. And she offers to help, but he pushes away. She, as with last time, she stares. She's glaring at you, looking over you. Doesn't say very much. And Jakob's like, Jakob, come. And she looks at you, and she's softened somewhat. But she's clearly she's in a bad mood. She certainly looks like the most professional fighter here. Yeah, Jakob looks like he knows what he's doing, but she's clearly a professional soldier as well. Jakob looks at you. You go, I never thought we'd see you again. I thought the conversation we had was just a flight in Moore's dream, but I can't say I'm sorry to see you. What brings you back?
We left town this morning. We are attacked. We've been following the tracks of the creatures. They came this way, it seems. Trying to find where they may be habiting and if there is anything that we can do to aid the plight of this area.
We, as you can tell, he sort of motions round. As he turns, he winces as he turns. As you can see, we had our own running last night with the twists, but it's only by Sigmar's blessing that we're still here. And even Shalia couldn't do much for those ones, but he motions over to the graves. But Andreas said that he heard probably 3, maybe 4 score running back through the woods around 2-3 hours after midnight last night.
Could he point us on their trail?
Sorry, Mark.
Could he point us on their trail?
I can't imagine that'd be hard to find if you're willing to go out into the woods, but he looks really gay because I can't offer you any help, and with the best will in the world, sirs, I'm not sure you 4 are ready to take on a 4 score mutants unless there's something else about you that we don't know.
It is perhaps a good assessment, I would think.
Can I ask an out-of-character question? There was something weird about the baby, wasn't there, when it was with us? Did it not ever cry or something?
It cried all the time.
Cried all the time.
Yeah. It cried quite a lot, but you, I don't think any of you actually saw it apart from
I think
Nehemiah.
Paul was the only one that got a look.
Yeah.
And kept that information to himself.
So I'll say to Jakob then.
You bastard.
Might sound like a really
I'll say it was a mutant. I just didn't necessarily say what it looked like because didn't think that was important.
I'll say to Jakob, this might seem like a strange question, but Andreas didn't hear a baby cry when these things went past, did he?
And he goes, well, I mean, come to think of it, he did mention that, but they'll often raid and take children from places, and they'll drag their young along with them. But sometimes even some of their strange twist throats sound like crying when they're laughing. You never know what's going on with these fiends.
Very well. See, these things don't normally attack the town, do they? They don't get that brave. I don't think this is normal for even this place.
They'd rarely attack us. You know, the bands they would have would usually be a dozen, a score at most, if they're united under a particularly charismatic or strong leader. But numbers like that, it's usually something else.
Were they saying anything? Was there any war cries or chants or anything? Maybe about a prince?
I don't speak mutant, I'm afraid. The dark tongue of the beast is not something that's understood by men like us. But something's not right. They know the armies have gone off to the north of Karl Franz. They know that the motions around. They know that brave Reichland is not as strong as we are, as our glorious leader takes the Reichsguard and his merry bands off to the north, leaves us undefended.
I sympathise with you. There is still a lot that the people of the Reich can do in times like this. We are not weak without the armies. We just need to find our own strengths.
I hope so, sirs. I'm afraid I can't offer you much more information on that unless there's... I mean, you're welcome to speak to the lads and lasses and the rest here. But I need to rest up, really, but if you need to stay a while, you're welcome. But I can't guarantee your safety, I'm afraid.
I think we've taken up enough of your time. You're clearly busy.
Is there anything you need, your doctor or anything?
He coughed because, as I said before, if you can find some way to get these people back into the town, if you can find some way to get the Graf to pardon them, even half of them, I me to see that half of these back in the town I would die going to Sigmar's arms happy. If you can get the rest of us in, even better.
Okay. We all try our best. We're certainly working on it.
Do you have a register of those here? Or that's foolish to give them?
I can get one for you.
Because that reminds me to get pardons for some of them.
I can certainly get one for you. He turns to Ingrid and says, "Fine. Did the one who writes? Did he make it? And she looks down. He did. Go and fetch him. She stomps off, and a guy comes back with her. Not a typical kind of scholarly look, actually. You know, he looks quite broad. He looks like he's probably he's one of the sort of soldiers. But he pulls out of Quillipo. Jakob, you called, sir. You know the word. You know, right? Yes. Yeah, I can write. Yeah. Okay. I need a name of everyone in the camp. Of course, sir. And he goes off and he goes around and he kind of gets the names and stuff for you. If you can, then please. I can't imagine the Graf is going to pardon myself, but his uncle maybe. That's maybe the way in.
Well, they lost a lot of good men last night too.
And when he mentions your uncle, you see Ingrid kind of. You certainly see her react when she says that.
What sort of reaction?
Roll perception, and I will give you roll intuition or perception, or Tom or Ads. Do you have some sort of martial skill? Do you have some sort of like something
basic? Whatever it is, I've not got it at 78. So,
was that everyone?
Yeah, 3 degrees of success. I got 10.
Yeah,
I
everyone.
get an 18 on something.
Yeah, do you have some sort
basic?
of like? There's no like. Oh, you got like battle tongue or something, haven't you?
I have battle tongue, yes.
I'm just trying to think of like things that. Okay, I'll just give you different results. Paul, you see her clearly react, and it looks like maybe a look of kind of pride in her. Maybe, you know, at the name, she feels a bit more kind of. She stands a bit taller. Rolled with that role, this is the sort of response you would get if like a commanding officer was to sort of come onto the parade field. It's that kind of like stand up tall, respect kind of thing.
So we learned previously that she had saved Lord Old's husband.
That's correct. Yeah, she saved his husband from something, some sort of fight. It was some sort of ambush. We didn't go into the details of it, but you can make up what it was. It's fine. You can tell me what that was. Okay. Jakob, they give you the sort of, they offer you some food if you want to eat, because we don't have much, but there's a few less mouths to feed today, so if you want to take food from a dead man's plate. But no, he offers you food, and he's genuine about it. They don't have much. He said, we don't have much, but
yeah, he keeps saying.
He puts his hand out. Oh god!
Some food.
Wish I had a few more brass to buy some food. And the guy comes back with your little register.
Rip that up.
So yeah, you're in the camp. You're free to talk amongst yourselves for a bit.
I realised I was laughing because I realised what we've done is we've come to the camp and done what all Harper's doing. We need to speak to your OG, not waiting for him to come out.
What actually happened was you spoke to the gate guard. The gate guard said you need to speak to the OG.
That is what happened.
You're a plot delivery for some players, and the gate guard took you straight to the LG. They took you
Oh,
straight
man,
to the
where
command
else
tent.
was he?
Otherwise, we've been taken into like command gazebo.
Yeah, it's called the maple leaf tree, but when you get up to it, it's actually just a red and white gazebo.
It's got a tree hanging on the plastic behind it.
Yeah, it's got those like fake red leaves hanging off it.
The bandit who could read and write is obviously the new player who's been like ushered into the command tent. It's like, meet the NPCs.
Yeah, they took the literacy skill. They're like, I've got 2 points left. What should I do? I'll take literacy. Yeah.
He's now stood here for 15 minutes. And so how he's a scribe and all that, and talked about his library, which is about like a sack of 4 scrolls.
Yeah, and everyone's
are there any dragons knocking about?
Done that.
Yeah. Okay. What are you folks doing?
Reminiscing about our early days of love. Why?
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah. Look, anyone got any booze? Yeah.
Yeah, someone gives you like
Exactly.
someone gives you a bottle of something that just they don't explain what they made it themselves. It's like Skittle vodka or some absolute nonsense they made at home rather than just buying actual nice alcohol.
Oh, is anyone else here with a ref tabard, or could we go?
There's
That's Pal.
there's a guy in the corner. Yeah, I've got a white tabard. Is that guy in the white tabard standing there?
Do any of these NPCs have like a ref tabard with them? Otherwise, I'm off.
One of them, like, he goes to pick up a box, he goes, "Whoa, strength!" And he's a lot stronger than everyone else.
I hear that.
You
I hear that. So I get...
Ads hears it, but Bert doesn't hear it.
I've got a feeling that I've just heard a lot of feet shuffling, but not seen anything. So I'm just gonna get my sword out, ready for a possible counterattack.
Yeah, you see 20 goblins off outside, but they've got their fingers in the air, so no one's actually reacting to them. They're like, "Is that how you guys got ambushed last night?" Yeah, they're walking along with their fingers in the air. All these mutants suddenly appeared out of nowhere.
So I tried to be good, and I just stood there with my back to them.
Oh, japes. Okay.
I just don't get what the deal with that baby was. Do you think that was a one-off or not?
I think the whole reason they came to the town was for that baby.
That baby didn't even look that mutated compared to other things we've seen.
I don't know much about these mutants, but
Look fairly bad.
there's something.
Yeah, it wasn't like massive extra arm. I just remember the little nubbing horns.
It had little horrible claw hands as well, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I did have these little claw hands. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fairly mutated. That should have been put down at birth. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't like covered in scales, like the one that you thought is what I said, or shaped like a bird. It had clawed hands and little horns, but it still looked like a baby.
The powers of the North can corrupt you in other ways than physically.
A strange cold wind blows through. None of you feel great when Mark says that.
Well, what are we going to do? We're going to track them down further. We might not be able to take them out, but we might be able to find out where they are.
I'd like to, but I don't think we can.
I think we contact that witch hunter.
Is the witch hunter? There is. Well, I wish to speak with the Graf's uncle.
I don't think that temple can be trusted.
I'm not sure. I've got a feeling. I'm not sure that Sister Francesca knows what the other sister did. Like, if those creatures came to the town for the baby, like your thing, then surely the person that was in charge would be the person to do the handover. She was nowhere near it.
I think we should return to Pam. With the people to speak with, we need to see if we can get these people here back inside the town, if only for their treatment of injuries, but if not, to bolster the town guard.
Right.
Agreed. I think we're going to find anything else here.
I wonder what the deal is with Lady Knight and the Graf's uncle.
Perhaps that is a question we can ask more people in the town.
I do like a gossip.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Do you want to head back to town?
Yeah.
Bold, Ruth.
Pick up stuff.
On the way out, I'm looking for any swords on the floor that've got any little bits of coloured cards stuck to
them. Before you go, they look over to you. Jakob does look to you, Helmut, and say, "You look like you've seen a bit of combat yourself, friend. I'm sure the good doctor can maybe take a look if you wish."
It looks like he's got his hands full. We'll go back to town. We'll be fine.
I appreciate your humility, sir.
Hopefully see you again in a better light.
We hope so. And he makes the signal symbol. And then heads off. So you make your way back to town. Sorry, there's loads of car horns outside.
Boyfriends outside revving their engines.
People are getting excited. Okay, that's probably cool. So you make your way back. It's still quite, it's going to take you a few hours to get back from where you were. Probably going to get back about what would be about 3, 4 in the afternoon. As you get closer to the edge of the forest, obviously it's a lot brighter. And you're surprised at how bright it is actually after the time you spend in the forest. But you make your way back down. I assume you're heading sort of down the river, basically. The quickest route back is downriver. You see a couple of boats passing out, heading north. A couple of boats going up the river, just carrying kind of boxes and stuff. One does come past you as well, going into the town. Again, sort of generic trade boats. Trade seems to be pretty good. Doesn't seem to have affected any kind of thing going on. But then as they go past you, afternoon, sirs, and give you a little wave.
Any news from upriver?
Oh, just the usual. Some rumor of. Let me find me a map. Let me find my little map. See.
Quite a nice little day out this actually.
Yeah, it's been alright actually, hasn't it?
Good for the old steps, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, he says, old Rockfoot apparently had a bit of trouble with some beasts last night, but usual, innit? He's sort of as if it's like, yeah. Carries on going down river. Boat. This is how boat works, by the way, Paul.
Thanks. I'm confused by this.
They go up and down rivers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he sort of goes. But enough. I'm sure it's nothing the town couldn't deal with. He carries his way down, and then you get back into Ellswold. It's about 4 in the afternoon. And when you get back into town, you can hear that there's, because the entrance is quite close to the market, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you don't hear it. There's nothing going on when you get back to town. So you get back into town for now. It's fairly quiet. It's about 4 in the afternoon. And then we'll have a little break there, I think.
Okay.
So
Right. A little break. Yeah. So
So it's 4 in the afternoon. It's nap o'clock.
Yeah, it's nap time, isn't it? Like you've had some food. It's nap time. Right, let's have a little break.
Well, someone to sleep a bit.
Okay, we're back. So yeah, you come back into town. So do you come in? I'm assuming you come in through the north gate. You're not doing like weird circumventing the gates, whatever. Yeah, cool. Where are you heading towards? Just so I know which rough direction you want to go in.
We're going to try and see Mr. Uncle.
Yes, I think so.
Aldebert.
Stable my horse, and then see if we can find his. I don't know why he lives in the castle. He's not going to live in a castle.
No, there's no castles
house.
in. Yeah, there's no castles in here. But he's in one of the nice. There's it doesn't take you long to find out where he lives basically. Get his address. Just Google him.
Number 1, the castle.
Yeah.
Google, is that perception check?
Google is perception. Yeah.
Oh, I passed.
Google's law, I think. So you know that he lives probably here.
The center of a pentagram.
Oh God! Oh no! Yeah, so that's roughly where he is. You're coming from here, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So you come through here. You make your way across. As you get to the bridge, you can hear a bit of commotion coming from roughly the market area.
Okay.
This is going to be a perception check, which I'm trying to do less of. I'm trying to do less perception checks. This is largely because Andy Raff hates perception checks as well.
Yeah, I read that.
And I think there's other ways of doing stuff, like other skills around it, because perception seems to get used too much.
I'm going to re-roll that.
Not passed.
2 degrees.
Oh, yes.
3 degrees.
Oh, I'm going to learn so much right now.
Anyone pass?
I get 3 degrees. 3 degrees of success with a 2.
3 degrees of success as well.
Okay, wow, that's really good.
Load me up. What do I perceive?
You can hear shouts coming from the market.
Hey.
Melon sellers, right?
The melon sellers are here. You can hear someone shouting, "Unclean, unclean."
Ooh.
Sigmar's wrath will come down upon you. The moon is high. The dark moon is gazing upon this town. All of you are cursed and unclean, unclean. A rabid voice in the town you can hear from in front of you from the market.
It may be that our Inquisitor is back.
Let's go and have a look if it's Thomas.
Yeah, let's head that way.
Me knowing your name.
It does actually with that roll, Tom, rolled. That isn't his voice.
It's not Thomas.
It is not his voice.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
I was maybe mistaken as well, but
Yeah, you spoke to him before, and he was quite soft spoken. He was quite like, this is certainly not his voice with that role.
he seemed too militant, too timid to be this militant.
Well, maybe he brought his uncle.
Uncle Angry Man.
I'm going around. Yeah.
Hello, I'm James Angryman.
Well, let's go and see what it's about.
So you make your way closer to the market, and as you get through, there are stalls around. Like the market's running. It is market day, so that people are selling kind of what they sell on the market: fish, knockoff trainers, dodgy perfume, food, sorts of food stuff. Yeah, they're selling like a Reichland version of Brute. I couldn't think of something funny.
So I edit that bit out.
Yeah, I'll edit that out. They're selling hoof. Hoof is a really like strong. It's like high karate. But there's people selling stuff all around town. But there's a large berth given to what would be the busiest part of the market. You can't quite see what's going on. There's a bit of a kind of crowd around, but you can't quite see what's going on.
I'm going to be nosy. I'm going to push your way forward.
You can push your way through people. There are 2 figures in the middle of the town. They're filthy. Their hair is long and straggly and hanging down them. You can see they are almost, it looks to you like they're completely naked. But they do have like tiny little loincloths on the closer you get to see. You can also see around one's neck is like a really badly put together wooden collar. One has a sign hanging around his neck that I don't know anyone can read. Helmet can read. Yep. Yep. Anyone who can read, there's just a sign around his neck that just says repent. And one of them isn't saying anything, but one of them is just beating himself with a switch. So a little game you play on. But yeah, he's beating himself really badly. There's blood pouring out onto the floor. And the other one is yelling unclean, unclean, and occasionally taking a swipe at himself with a small, like not flail, but like a cat o' nine tails, like a small kind of whip, I guess. A small whip, a little walnut whip.
Whisk.
Yeah, he's got a whisk. He's got a little whisk and he's whipping himself. But yeah, and they as they're shouting and screaming, Helmet, as you kind of push your way to the front, the one that's making all the noise looks towards you, and you can see his face, like his teeth are cracked, and he's in a really bad way. And he points towards you and just goes, "Unclean, unclean," before turning quickly to someone else and just shouting the same thing. Yeah, these 2 are not great.
Being a city boy, I'm assuming we would know of flagellants and things like that.
You've heard of them, yeah. It's up to you whether you've seen them or not. Nehemiah, you're probably got the highest chance of having seen them because they kind of travel along the roads and stuff, and they go between towns. So you've got the highest chance of having. But if it's up to you whether you have or you haven't seen them.
I have, and I don't like them.
Yeah.
Do not care for them.
They're making a bit of a commotion, and you can see a couple of the town guards looking over towards them, but they're not doing anything. But they're certainly sort of dominating the middle of the market.
So the others, not a lot here to see.
No, don't need to see this.
And as you kind of go past, so are you taking a wide berth? Are you just going past them? What
I'm taking a very wide berth.
I'm just cutting past them, not
Yeah.
not within swiping or whipping range, but I'm I'm not skirting the crowd. I'll cut across.
Are the crowd listening, watching, kind of just going? What are they doing?
Everyone's kind of rubbernecking. Like they're having a bit of a look. It's like it is the crazy person in the middle of town. So like, everyone's having a bit of a look for a bit, but they don't want to spend too long there in case they talk to them or they catch their eye. So you can see people do slow down, have a look, and they kind of move on. A couple of children are kind of pointing and laughing until the kind of flagellants like look at them and they scurry off and sort of scream and scurry off. The stall holders look pretty pissed off because it's obviously driving a business away. But it's they're not doing. A couple of people do seem quite not enthralled, but a couple of people are kind of listening to what they're saying. A couple of people look a bit more interested than others, but it's a mixed bag. But generally, they're not particularly well received.
Cool. We'll carry on then, going to number 1 Town Hall, Castle Street. Yeah.
Number 1 Town Hall, Castle Street. So yeah, you make your way through. You know roughly where it is. As you've not been here before, but you've probably been past it. As you get closer, again, it's one of the few stone buildings in town. Not many buildings in town are stone. You go in. There's actually a stables there attached to the town. There's a couple of horses outside. There's a large charger outside. Rolled. It's you know straight away. This is definitely a war horse as opposed to a riding horse. You see there's certainly a few guards outside here. As before, everyone seems roughly on edge. Everyone seems the same as before. But it's an open door, effectively. It is the kind of center of the town. So as you go in, there is the guards look at you. What's your business, sirs? This guy's got a hat on.
Does he look warm?
Very warm. Yeah, middle of summer, he's got a little hat on. And he says, what's your business, sirs?
Run a hat.
I can't remember his name.
I'll look at Rold being the most presentable soldierly type.
Lord Adalbert is the name.
We are here seeking an audience with Lord Adalbert. We aided the town watch last night in driving off the creatures from the woods. We feel it's good to speak with him if he has the time.
Yes, it is us who killed the Goliath.
You're the ones who saved the young one, aren't you?
Save the town, yeah.
Yeah, it saved the town. Yeah.
Well, let me go and see. Of course, no, thank you. My brother was out there out fighting, and thank you. She looks genuinely, If you could just, she takes her hat off because she's too hot, and then she goes inside, and you hear, I don't need any more fucking visitors from outside. And then, fine, send them in. Fine. and you hear something fall off of a smash. Oh, fucking bollocks! Just swear.
Potty mouth.
And she comes out. Lord Adalbert he's quite busy, and he's not in the best humours, but he did say that you can have a short audience with his gracefulness, sirs.
Thank you very much for sorting that out. I give her a cheeky wink.
And she doesn't react. She's like, oh, weird. I guess I'll just do my job. So she sort of ushers you in, goes through, and you go through some stairs. This is probably one of the bigger buildings in town. There's several different rooms. It's got two stories, which is quite unusual. You go through several. You go up some stairs, and you can hear, "Oh, fucking bollocks, fuck, and she sort of just goes, I'll let you go in." And she steps back and goes through. As you go into the room, we're going to do one of our game describers. Ooh, nice. And I'm going to roll randomly to see who it is. In fact, you know what? Everyone can do one thing in the room. So you go into the room and you see, I'll show you a picture of him sitting behind his desk. So you see Lord Adalbert von Wallenstein sitting behind his desk. There he is. He's a big guy. He's old. He's clearly old. He's probably in his 60s. But he's a big guy. He's still very well muscled. You can see his hands are like huge hands. He's covered in calluses. You know, he's clearly not someone who's got a desk job. He's been out doing stuff forever. He's still very well muscled. He's just sitting there. He has a fairly simple shirt on. But he's, you know, it's simple, but it's very well made. And he is sitting behind a large wooden desk. But everyone else can describe something else that's in the room. Let's start off with Paul, because you're top left of my screen. Nehemiah.
So the breaking sound, I think that is like she was trying to get a little bit of water into him to make him a bit more pliable, and he just wasn't having it. It all smashed on the floor.
So there's a broken vase,
carafe.
Jug.
Yeah,
carafe. That's the word I'm looking for. Nice. There's a broken carafe on the floor. I'm just going to make some notes.
Drink the plant water.
That's why he said no.
Yeah, drink this lovely broken river water.
Drink from this vase.
Broken carafe on the floor. Nice. Okay. Helmet, Mark.
I quite like the idea that everything's a bit sort of dusty and run down. He's not very tidy or anything like that. However, sort of behind his desk, by the window where the sun comes in, is quite an old style, sort of well-used and dented suit of armour, but this has been polished to the nth degree. It's very well kept care of. It's clearly got pride of place, and it's the most tidy, clean thing in the room.
Yep, cool. That makes absolute sense. But Adam?
Yeah, there's off to one side, there's a fairly ornate table, quite short, and there's maybe some goblets or things on it that haven't been used in a little while. But one of the legs is kind of half cut and sort of about that short off the floor, and wedged to keep it upright and stable is a load of quite formal looking letters and papers and journals.
Yep.
I like the fact they're unopened as well.
Yeah, just wedged. Like when you're at a rocky table at a cafe. It's just done that.
Right. My dinner table's like that. It fucking annoys me. Really, really annoys me. It really is. It really gets on my nerves. You've just reminded me. Fucking hate that table.
Do you want to go deal with that right now, pal?
Yeah, sorry guys. I'm going to
keep bugging you all evening.
I'm going to stop the game. Rolled. Tom, who's the last one?
Yeah, so opposite the sort of jerry-rigged table, kind of right in the corner opposite where we've just come in, there's a very, very small kind of scrivener's desk. So there's nobody sat there, very small stool just in the corner out the way. Lots of little bits of paper piled up there as if, there is somebody occasionally in the room, probably, writing down what the Lord sort of says. So kind of, very crammed right out in the corner. seems slightly out of place, probably given the rest of the room.
Very nice.
It too is propped up with
Other letters.
Yeah, other
some
letters. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Lovely. Okay. He looks up at you and he's like, yes, what now? I'm incredibly fucking busy. And then he sort of looks, oh, you're the ones from last night. You're the ones who saved some of my
Save the town.
Yeah.
We are, my lord, yes. We wish a small moment of your time. We're here and we're eager to do Sigmar's bidding, but also, if needs be, what is your bidding?
Well, it sounds to me like you did enough of what I would expect last night, but there's always more, of course. Those filthy twists coming into my town. They're almost as bad as the goblins out there. And as soon as he says the word goblins, you see his fist kind of clenches. It's a fucking unusual business. Anything you can tell me about it's going to help.
We have...
I would say they don't usually get this brave, and quite frankly, with our glorious Carl Franz taking the armies off into the north, there's not an awful lot me and my lads and lasses can do.
We are aware of that. There are far too few people here to protect the town safely, but also to do anything about these creatures wherever they may be in the woods. We want to track them to wherever they are hiding, Craven Lair, but well, there are not enough of us. We simply just need more troops. We did not wish your town to go undefended either.
It's a right confusion there, isn't it? Because we can either sit here and wait for them, and they just keep coming back and trying to burn our good town to the ground, while he sort of snarls a little bit. While the Graf's off enjoying himself up in Nuln. Or we risk leaving the town undefended, find out what's going on, and head out to go and deal with it, which is what I would normally do. And he kind of looks over to his suit of armor, this well-polished suit of armor, looks out, gives it a nod as if it's a person. It's like, but I'm not sure we're at liberty to do that right now. Unless,
there
of course,
might potentially be some people you may not consider at your disposal at this time that we may be able to draw upon. Unbeknownst to you, the attack on the town would have been far worse had a camp that sat in the way between this town and the band attacked not killed a good many of their number.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of camp?
A camp of people who are not currently welcome here.
He looks out the door and he shouts, Herr Raff! Herr Raff! And you see someone comes scurrying around the corner. Large lad, chap, dressed in sort of very scholarly robes, comes around, pokes his head around the corner. Sir? It takes him about 30 seconds to get there. So close the door for me. The door is, you're literally standing inside the door. He is shouting for someone. Close the door for me. Sort of, his hands full of like an ink pot in one hand and some and he sort of
I'll kind of kick the door with my back heel to kind of close it.
As he's kind of like, as he's putting the stuff on the door, just, tell me about them.
They lost a good number.
Ingrid?
Fighting these twists.
Ingrid's still there.
She is alive. Bruised and battered, but alive. We've spoken with them, and they are very keen to find their way back into your good graces and be allowed back into the town.
It's not my graces they're not in.
But I'm sure your word would carry weight. If, because I believe like you, we also want to see what this is all about and follow this band. If a good word could be put in with them, for them, for helping us and helping you and helping the town pursue these twists for a possible pardon, I think you may be able to draw upon some very qualified people, both in the woods and at soldiering, whilst not leaving the town any more undefended than it currently is.
The problem I have, lads, is very simple. It's not my town. It's young Ferdinand's. And while he's off gallivanting, it's not really my place to turn around and pardon those that he's kicked out, even though we all know the reasons he kicked them out were a load of old cattle shit.
Well, how about, could you do something that's not an official pardon to begin with, like martial law and temporarily conscript them?
If there were big enough threats, it's within my remit to be able to take a certain amount of people into a local militia. But that's not going to appease his young lordship. And certainly I'm a loyal man of the Empire, and I stick to the rules around here, even if some of them don't.
I do understand that, and I agree with appeasing his lordship, but it'd be nice for us to be alive to be able to appease him. According to Ingrid, there was a lot more of them in the forest than what attacked the camp. 2 score. We don't have the forces here to hold them off without them.
The small band that I've been taking out recently, we dealt with the usual, bandits, goblins, the occasional mutants, but there's something in the air. You can smell it. It smells worse than greenskins, worse than trolls, ogres. It's something. And he takes a kind of big whiff as if he goes, something dark, even worse than little halflings.
They seemed excited by something more than bloodlust.
When they left, they headed north.
I can't send people out into the forest without knowing they're going to be safe or without more support. And quite frankly, I haven't got that all here.
You can't send your people north into danger.
Let's call them Lucas's people. Do they have enough to deal with this out there, do you think?
Hell, what sort of numbers did we look at from
So originally there was about 20 when you first went. When you just went back, there was 3 that definitely were dead. Well, you presumably 3 dead because you saw 3 graves. There was a couple of people that were quite heavily injured. The quick look that you got was that maybe 10 people were kind of, if you was to go out tomorrow, there'd be like 10 people that could fight. But you didn't, you don't know about the other extent of the injuries, but that was a rough kind of guess from when you were looking around.
I'd say we'd be on possibly equal terms with what we might find out there. At the very least, we could get some information.
My lord, a suggestion.
Go on.
Is it within your remit to be able to hire a company of mercenaries to deal with this problem that your town has, knowing as you are so lacking in troops of the town to deal with it yourself?
I can hire legit mercenaries as long as they can produce their paperwork to show me that they're all official.
Right. And perhaps would you be able to aid in supplies to help such a group?
I could probably
medicines.
I could lean on some of the resources we have in the town. Aye.
And what about temporary handing over maybe like a small warehouse or something for those mercenaries to have their wounded recuperate there?
We don't have much space in the town. As you've seen, it's pretty cramped already. They'd have to look, as with all mercenaries, they'd have to look after their own, under their own banners and their own tents, outside the walls. Standard mercenary procedure. But they'd be within eyeshot of the walls. And importantly, within arrow shot.
If we could perhaps organise this for you, would you give us your blessing?
If you can somehow find me a bunch of mercenaries that haven't marched off to get paid by Carl Franz's coffers, which seem to be a lot deeper than I expected, then of course I'd pay them. As long as they're legit and they can show me the paperwork, I'll hire them.
Well, thank you. Helmut, anything else to add?
Not from me.
So tell me, lads, what actually happened last night?
We were woken by the commotion, the fires. I think many in the town were awoken by. We headed out to see where we could aid. Many of the fires are already under control. We engaged several of the twists, as you call them, in the north, near the north entry of the river. Fought them there.
Well, if that's all you know, that's all you know. Now, as you can see, I'm very busy. He motions over to the pile of the pile of letters that are underneath the table that stack up. as you can see, I'm very busy, and my scribe Herr Raff has got a few more letters to write. So, if you don't mind,
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, lads, and thank you for what you've done for this town.
Yeah. Good day.
Turned into a bit Ned Stark there, didn't he?
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Ned Stark there. Didn't tell me it was good.
Should we catch up at the tavern or something?
Yeah, it's about
8 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably about 6 o'clock now, I guess.
Dinner.
Yeah, get a picture in. Yeah.
Yeah, because we ate so much at the bandit camp. Let's go have some beers.
They're doing 2-for-1 cocktails at the pub.
Nice.
8 pina coladas, please, barman.
Yeah. Okay, you can go back to the tavern. I'll let you talk amongst yourselves.
How hard is it to get mercenaries writ?
I've no fucking clue. I was just making that up.
You know, I was wondering.
Would I, Pel, having a thief taker's writ, would I have any clue as to what the legislation is behind getting a mercenaries charter written up?
Yeah, it's probably there's no like governing body or anything. There's no like governing, but like you're not in Tilia, so mercenary work isn't like official in the Empire.
Would you kind of have like a name on a contract who would bring with them 20 soldiers?
Yeah, so you'd basically get a name and a contract. It would generally have to be, I would say it probably has to be signed off by like, it would have to be signed off by some sort of official in the Empire. So it would need to be signed off by some sort of official. But the Empire
or something like that.
Yeah, but the Empire's huge. Like the Empire is huge, and like it has to be from an official. I think it's fair to say it needs to look official.
Yeah.
And you know from being a thief taker that a lot of people who have got their official writ don't have an official writ. It just looks like an official.
It just looks the part. Yeah.
So
I reckon the Low Havens could probably write up a writ.
It's over the Low Havens. Do you think we can after that?
I was thinking there must be some old knackered mercenary on the verge in town. Do you know what I mean? He's got one from 30 or 40 years ago.
That's not a bad idea either.
Nehemiah, surely you could find out. you know the people around here. You've been talking
Yeah,
to.
I could go and find out.
One
yeah.
last chance at glory. You know, that sounds good, doesn't it? Saves us owing the Low Havens as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll go and see what I can find out.
Yeah. Okay. Do I guess probably some sort of rumor kind of style. Gossip, maybe. It's going to take you a while. Like, it's not a kind of just do it now check. It's probably going to take you a while.
Dodge.
Can you dodge? Yeah, I think gossip's probably the closest one, isn't it?
Unless there's like a law one, like an actual go to the library. But
so I'm looking at advanced skills. Research wouldn't really make sense here because that's like actual law. Navigation, language, or perform secret signs. I think it's going to be gossip. Realistically, unless like Tom or Bert want to use like leadership, maybe it's a basic skill. Like if you want to go and find,
I think we need to be slightly
kind
more
of dense.
overt.
That would be more overt. Yeah, that would be a lot more overt. Whereas Nehemiah could, or anyone could do it a lot more covert.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of gossip.
Yeah. So if you want to spend some time like going on, describe how you're going about it.
So I want to go about it kind of just chatting to people like I was when I was rabble rousing, kind of also entertaining them with the fortune telling stuff, but trying to set up more that with that it's more of if you hear anything about what the mutant said, it's important that we know.
Okay.
Spreading the rumors that it's partly because of the bandits that were still alive, and then weaving this all together to go, oh, it's not like the old days when there was a mercenaries. Is there any around? What's going on?
Okay, cool. So you're kind of, all right, that's cool. Yeah, roll gossip.
I'm kind of going to hang around with him in the kind of like, I know I'm doing with a sword, I've been in a scrap kind of thing, to kind of lend some authenticity to the fact that we might be serious about what we're asking about.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Roll. Let's Paul, you can roll. I'm going to give you plus 20 standard.
Okay.
Another plus 10 because Mark's helping. And then I think because you're speaking to people that you've kind of already dealt with, another plus 10. It's actually quite easy for you to so you're quite well involved, and you're like your reputation's good here, so plus 40 in total.
I got 25 under 87.
So that's what, 6 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy over there.
Yeah, it's that guy who lives at that house.
He's
just got mercenary stapled to like tattooed across his head.
Mercenary McMurkison.
Yeah, his name's Mercenary McMurkison.
Mercero.
Yeah, so you go around and you hear a few names. You hear the name Anton, you hear the name Oscar. There are a couple that you knew of that people were kind of quite like not famous, but they were like minor celebrities in the town back in the day, but they've not been here for a while. You know, they've certainly not been here for a while. You hear about someone called Amelie, but they tell you that she's far too old to be of any use now. But she used to apparently be quite the soldier in her day. You hear of someone called Amelia, who you know was killed last summer in a goblin raid. You hear of someone called Max, who is actually quite young but has made a bit of a name for himself. But you're not sure about that. No one's quite sure if he's still in town or not. He certainly hasn't been around for a couple of weeks. You also hear, that's 5. You also hear the name Johanna. And Johanna, you know, definitely went off to fight with Carl Franz's army. She was a mercenary and she signed up.
So I'm thinking Amelia might be old enough that she's still here that we could just go and get it.
Yeah.
Or we could convince Amelia's relatives that we need it for some sort of, I don't know, thank you ceremony for her death.
I'm less comfortable about the deception on that one. I think.
Okay, so
I
not
think-
deception, just actually larceny and stealing. Okay, let's do it.
No. We should enlist. We should enlist the aid of the ex or the retired mercenary
Yes, the old
to come out of retirement to lead us, and to allow us to continue on their legacy.
Yes.
Sort of
Oh,
that kind of, you know.
Legit.
I'm not so sure
Yeah,
about that. I
legit.
feel like we would lose our agency as a group if we did that. That would be my worry.
I'm an upstanding member of Reichland, thank you very much.
No, we all are, and that's why we get to go and do what we want to do without some old mercenary telling us what we need to do.
But I mean, it's going to be obvious to them that they are in no position to lead us actually into battle,
So you want him
and
to
that this is a springboard for some aspiring young types to follow in their stead and continue the good name of their company.
So,
Carry
he's
on
more
with
like,
their
so you
name.
want him to be more like a figurehead sponsor.
Yeah.
Or her. I mean, okay, well, let's go and do that.
So who are you going to speak to? I forgot what I said. the name was.
Amelia.
Amelia.
She the old retired one.
Emily, the old retired one.
Yeah, the old one.
Amelia's the dead one. Emily.
No.
Emily.
Amelie, that's it.
Gonna make a note of that. Emily.
Amelie and Amelia.
And
Amelie's
Emily.
Avengers.
And Emily and Emil.
Okay.
Emil.
You've all got law. I'm not going to write you roll. You've all got law Reichland. Amelie is definitely not a Reichland name. Definitely not. It's definitely not like a what would be the Empire, a name from the Empire.
Can we just go through those names again? Sorry.
Oh, fuck's sake, I've got to make them up again now.
We accidentally mishear one of them as well. It wasn't the same.
Right, there was a dead one. There was one who died last summer.
That was Emily.
That was Emily.
That was Amelia.
Amelia.
Right, I'm gonna write them down because obviously I've literally just made these up. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
if
really?
you could write some notes down, pal, that'd be great.
I
Okay.
can just say we will never, ever
Yeah.
talk about the two dead ones ever again. So
yeah.
maybe call anything you like.
So Johanna went off to join the war.
And Max is young and not around.
Max is young and not around.
Probably at war.
You haven't seen him for a couple. So certainly no one's seen him for a couple of weeks. You then had Anton
The back.
de Beck. He's dead. I mean, if anyone ever plays this back, they're gonna find this is just wrong. But
Don't think Anton's dead, but
let's just say
Don't give Raph ideas. He's got
He's
far too
literally
much time.
just died. He's literally just died.
he's died just now.
He's got okay.
Saying to
Jonas.
some dungeon somewhere, like a beastman's axe. Just
You got Jonas, who has not heard from in some time, and Max. Max is dead. Sorry, Jonas and Oscar. They're the two that you haven't heard from.
Max is dead now. Oh.
Do people just die if we name them? Is that what happens?
Right? No, there was always two dead.
who was the live one? Who we actually
Right.
want to go and speak
The one
to?
that you want to go, who's old, is Amelie.
Amelie.
Amelie is the one who's alive. Amelia is dead. Johanna went off to war. Max is young, but you haven't heard of her a bit. Anton dead. Could have just died just now. Jonas is old. No one's heard from him for some time. Oscar old. No one's heard from him for some time. Old in the Empire could be like 40. So just
And
so
she
you know.
lives in Mercenary Avenue, and all of the other houses are empty because they're dead or gone to war. So it'd be really easy to find.
Yeah, Amelie. Like with that role, you find out that you know where Amelie lives, basically.
Mm-hmm. And she's born this day.
Yeah, you know her birthday. She had a film made about her. As you're going around the town, like finding out stuff, and it's probably going to take you. It's a few hours. It's actually, do you know what? To be fair, it's probably going to take you the rest of the day.
Probably, and quite a bit of helmet's money.
Yeah, it takes a day. Yes, knock a suitable amount of money off of your thing for like drinks and stuff.
I look at helmet.
You do notice there's a couple more of the flagellants around town.
Ooh.
So where you've seen a couple, and you certainly notice at least 2 or 3 others. In fact, you notice 3 others that are around town in different places, all doing the same thing. They're just they're doom seeking, they're doom saying, sorry, they're shouting, they're just. It seems like babble.
Maybe we could hire them and use them as fodder.
I mean, once we're heading out, that would be very easy to do, I think.
I'm sure they would not object to coming with us.
I'll let you lot handle that.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's like nighttime again now.
Let them handle that, yeah.
So, do we need to go and speak to her tomorrow rather than breaking in tonight? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Breaking in? Where did that come from?
Well, you're trying to get a load of criminals a load of pardons just because it's convenient. Like,
If they're pardoned, they're not criminals anymore.
Exactly.
and if they're not caught, they're not a criminal.
That's that guy tapping his head gif, isn't it?
Yeah.
Helmet needs to rest up tonight. Helmet needs to rest up. Let us wait until the morning.
Yeah, Helmet does need to rest up.
Yeah.
Plus, I've not had a disturbed night of sleep in several days, so...
Yeah.
That's true. I've not had a weird dream either. So, yeah, that's...
Okay, you go to sleep in your inn. Helmet
I'm going to, before I go to bed, I'm going to write a short letter.
Okay.
I'll
Is it
give
a
you
will?
details.
Yeah, send it. Yeah. I can kind of guess what it's going to say, but fair.
Look at me, I can write.
Where are you sending it?
In the morning, I will be giving it to
Korea.
Bold.
Bold? A bold? You sending bold?
Yeah, it's trustworthy. And any others bothering to listen, particularly where I'm sending him to? No.
What? No.
I'll contact you after the game, pal. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be.
It's fine. It's fine. So roll your endurance plus 20, Nehemiah and Helmet, to see if you get back any stuff overnight.
Which is good.
Oh, yes.
Cool. So whatever you pass by in degrees plus your toughness bonus.
So if I'm toughness 41 plus 4.
Plus 4. Yep.
Oh, I'm fully healed.
I have only one wound remaining, which is good. Just a bit stiff.
It's just a bit, he's a bit,
Oh, my knees.
Bad arms, bad legs.
A couple, right? And then he stubbed his toe.
Yeah. Oof. Ah. He feels okay. He's just got a bit of a hangover, which is like the one wound. Yeah. Okay. So you sleep through the night. You have an uncharacteristically second night in a row where you sleep well. What are you doing today?
Form a mercenary group.
Yeah.
Form a mercenary group montage.
Back together. The band we weren't in.
Let's go find Emily, whoever it is.
Right. I took a lot of effort. I put a lot of effort into getting these names. Amelie. Amelie. Amelia's dead. Amelie. If you say it wrong again, you lose a wound. That's like every time
you come round to my house and mark it off my character.
I mean, you are literally a 30-second walk from the house, so I could just go and mark it off. You're right. So you're going to old Amelie's house. Okay. Amelie lives in a place in the town that obviously I've planned this because I knew she existed before this session.
Mm-hmm. That's why you spoke
No doubt.
Is it Bounty Hunter Avenue?
No, she lives in
Janissary Way.
Don't be stupid. It's Sword and Platz. Yeah. It's German names, mate. Come on. and the German for sword is definitely sword. So, so she lives in Sword and Platz Road.
Nice.
Road.
Yes, road, which you don't need to have, but she lives there.
Where's that on the map?
Are you going? I'll show you on the map if you want. Let me.
Is that on the map?
Yep. 1 second. I'll just get the map up. I'll just prove it that it's on the map as well. I just need to double check the map very quickly. I'm just getting the map up. 1 second. Let me just sword. Oh, I think this is it. Yeah.
This is important for the fans at home watching this.
I know because they're good. Basically, it's for continuity in it because I don't want to be like, oh no, they're going to know that they're going to know that I'm winging this bit.
Otherwise, they'll think we're amateurs.
They think we're
Yeah.
a bunch of idiots who have just vaguely bumped our way through a campaign.
Basically, we'll have a bunch of people calling the writers a load of hacks, and the Wikipedia kind of entries are just going to.
When does the perfect? Yep, seamless.
Right, I don't know if you can see it on the map where I've marked it, but it's just up here.
I do like the zoom function on the map. It's good. It's good.
I've noticed that before.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. So this is a slightly updated map after the fire, but you can see it's got Sordenplatz Road on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So she lives here.
Okay.
What, in the sun?
She lives in the sun. Yeah, I know about the sun. No, I know about the sun. We've already established that. I've done a lot of research about the sun.
That's when she's like away.
Good. I tried to collect you out, mate, but yeah.
No. Mate, I'm a prepared GM. Okay, yeah, you can go to a house if you want. She dies of a heart attack straight away.
Now can we rob her?
It was a great idea, but she does. Okay, you knock on the door. No. You hear again the kind of in the distance, like the flagellants are kicking off again somewhere. She knock on the door, and you just hear like a. Oh, I can't do the Bretonian accent. It's gonna be so bad.
Do it.
Bretonian women's accent.
We.
Hell, let's not pretend that you don't do a bad European accent at
but
4 weekends a year.
It's vaguely Spanish, though, isn't it? It's vaguely Spanish. This is vaguely French, which I'm not. Yeah.
Think about onions and garlic and frog's legs. And
all those slightly stereotypical things.
Tower.
Yeah, she opens. She goes, we Eiffel Tower.
Croissant.
Sac Magique.
There we go.
Sac Magique.
There we go.
What? Yeah. Okay. You hear? Yeah. She goes. Oh, yeah. 1 second. Yeah. You can't see her walking stick, but you know because she's an old lady. She walks a walking stick.
But it's secretly her that turns into a broadsword when she started.
Yeah, and it's it takes a few minutes actually for the door to answer. But the door doesn't answer because that'd be mad. She answers the door. And you see when she answers the door. An old lady.
I thought Bretonia was like a land of magic, so she'd have one of those like talking knockers from the labyrinth.
That would be good, but you're in the Reichland. You can't bring it with you, mate. Come on.
Why not?
Magic.
Taxes.
Oh, it's perfect sense. It's import tax, yeah.
There you go. There's a picture of Amelie with a very expensive looking gem around her neck and earrings.
Very expensive, yeah. She's clearly got some money.
She clearly has some money. She looks like obviously you can only see her head in that picture, but she looks pretty. She's wiry. She's not big, but she looks pretty wiry. Like you reckon she could probably still pack a punch if she wanted to, but she's pretty old. And she looks. I just had a really weird thought that I can't say. She looks. She's like,
God, share with the class. You can edit it out.
I can do it now. Look, I don't edit anything, mate. She looks. She goes, "Oh, is it my birthday already?" Sort of laughs. She sort of laughs to herself. She goes, "What can I help you with?" I'm doing it.
Well, it's your birthday, and
I'm doing it.
Birthday.
What? Yes.
That's a bit involved. Do you mind if we come in?
Why would I let 4 men into my house without knowing what they want?
We're looking to set up some mercenary work, and we think you might be able to help us.
And she sort of rolls her sleeves up, and you can see she's got a lot of scar, like scars on her arms. Not like, yeah, she's got scars on her arms. She goes, I'm a little past my best, but I'm not sure I can help you out, lads.
Well, your reputation isn't past your best at all, actually.
And she looks a bit confused. Goes, I've got some breakfast on. Do you want to come in and have a croissant?
Have a pan au chocolat.
Pan au chocolat.
Don't forget, yeah.
This is fine, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's okay.
fine.
It's fine. It's bright. It's bright. It's Bretonia. It's Bretonia. It's fine. Just take a seat over there. What's in her house? What's in her? I mean, I've already obviously meticulously planned what's in her house, but you can also choose something that's in the house. Paul's not allowed to. I'm banning Paul from this one because he's laughing too much. So I know he'll say something bad. So you're out. Helmut, what's something in her house?
She has got the ugliest small fucking dog in the world.
Yep.
In her house.
Yeah, really ugly.
Ugly, and probably older than her in dog years and human years as well.
Is it one of those ones that's like tongue hanging out his head, no teeth?
Yeah. That's absolutely.
Yeah, and it looks up at you.
Every time it stands up, it farts. Yeah.
It does. It's sort of growl. It's a weird kind of growl that tries to growl. But what else did I ask?
She's got quite an unusual, very heavy set looking bookcase. And it's like quite big for this size of house.
Okay.
With lots of stuff full of interesting books and tomes and things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's loads of books there. Rolled.
And opposite the bookcase, like taking up nearly the entire wall of this room is what's possibly, we could presume maybe her Bretonian heraldry of her family. So a giant big kind of banner of dark blue and white horizontal stripes, and then a coat of arms set right in the center.
Nice. Which
features some form of cockerel, some garlic, and some long form of bread.
Oh, obviously, yeah. It was going to be good. Right. I was going to let Paul have a go, but because you finished off being a bit...
sorry.
Because you finished off being naughty, I know that Paul's going to be too naughty, so he doesn't get a go. So there we go.
I don't think I think our fan will be disappointed if we don't give everyone an equal say.
Right. I will let Paul have a go.
Well, now I've got to think about something because I didn't. Because to be fair, it was pretty much what was on the heraldry.
If he's naughty, you will get punished.
Okay, I think what she also has around is kind of like a lot of like varying dried herbs tied to the ceiling. Despite the smell of the dog farts and her Bretonian cooking, there is still this nice whiff of lavender and rosemary and thyme around.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, the house does smell nice. Like you can smell the cooking, you can smell that she's making a breakfast, but you can smell the cooking. And you sit down and she comes out. She goes, and she gives you like a small bowl of soup, basically. And she says, I can't help you boys, but talk if you wish. I have a free day today, so
we are engaged in an endeavor to end the menace that has started to threaten this town from the north. The creatures of the woods, the mutants, the twists that have attacked. We are hoping to put together a band that will venture out to their lair and, well, to slay the beasts. But the town is sorely pressed. There are not enough here to both defend the town and head out with us. There are others we know nearby who can aid us. However, the graph of the town does not look upon them favorably. However, we are hoping that we could enlist their aid under a mercenary banner to legitimately gather those folk to arms and to have them aid the town to hopefully repair their reputation in the eyes of the Graph.
Lord Aldebert is quite keen on this idea, but wants to make sure that he is still, showing loyalty to his lordship, and wants to make sure that this is above board and that it's the mercenary is assigned to an approved mercenary writ.
As soon as you say his lordship, speaking about Ferdinand, she goes, that useless wee cock, he's no better than, and she motions to her dog, Molly's farts in the wind.
Well, this is why we're trying to work around him. And actually, if this works well, it shows that some of his former decisions may not have been the brightest.
I would like to help you boys, but as I said, I'm way past my best, and my writ only allows for me and my I'm way past my best, and I'm afraid those who travelled with me, the epes, are sadly past theirs, and I can't just give you my writ. It clearly states that I need to lead a unit that goes out.
Of course, we understand. Would you be? Oh, hang on, wait for it.
Okay.
Can I do a charm roll?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, passed by 2 degrees of success there with. Would you be willing to take on new members of your company?
My writ says that I am allowed 10, I have to count that in my head in French, 10 soldiers to come with me, see? My writ only allows for 1 unit, not a company. But I would need to, and she sort of goes over to all the books on the wall with a massive, like, loads of book stuff, or she starts pulling some out.
I'm just sat there trying to remember what I learned in school from Bretonian counting.
But surely,
no one learns
between leading and being there all the time. Surely people under your company bands could go on a scouting mission to report back to you for your inevitable campaign.
And she's not really listening. She's going through the books and stuff, and she pulls down like a huge, like a large. It's actually a picture that's tucked in the books, and she pulls it out, and she turns to it, and it. Does anyone read it? I don't think anyone has. Oh no, it's not really. It's written in Reichland. Yeah, it's Helmet and Rolled. You can read it, and it says. Effectively said this writ of mercenary action allows the bearer, Amelie Dupont, to legally and under the goodwill of the Emperor. I can't remember what the Emperor was called before Karl Franz. I have to pull it up. It has a previous Emperor's name, which I'll pull up afterwards. Under the legal right of Emperor, has the right to lead no more than herself and 10 hearty soldiers under the official writ of mercenary banner. Under the assumption that the bearer hereby carries their writ at all times and personally leads the soldiers under their command.
Yep. Should they go for a walk?
She's the. I'm willing to help.
I don't think it'd be too hard to get this updated under these circumstances.
Yeah, but I don't know enough. You are a man of the armies. What do you advise?
We take it to. Yeah, we take it to himself and get it. See if we can get his scholar to just update it for us and sign it on his behalf. That's surely easier. That shows that I think he might meet us in the middle.
Or we see if Ingrid can do a Bretonian accent.
She does look to you and she says, she goes, I don't have long left, and I'd be happy to come with you if you wish, but I can't guarantee I'd be as good as I was in my youth. And she sort of
probably still better than me, love.
She points over in the corner, and you can actually see, like, you hadn't noticed before, there is like a sort of stuffed dummy in the corner that has some armor, like has a shield like placed in front of it, and a kind of battered sword, and she kind of motions over to that. I'm not sure I could carry my shield anymore, but this sword, maybe.
Oh, you do fine.
and she obviously rolls the one who gave her a good charm check. Just anything for a handsome man of the Empire. There are few and far between. She laughs to herself.
Yes, but a few.
And I can't help you beyond that, I'm afraid. My gone, and I'm far from home to be able to hire anyone new.
No, of course. May we? May we just have a look
but yes,
have a look through your charter a little bit more.
Yes, of course.
So just checking back, it allows for 10 fighters under the command of.
Add a 0 on the.
Under the command of the named person, which is Amelie, and Amelie Dupont. It allows for her to lead 10 bodies under her, under the assumption that she carries the writ at all times and is alongside them.
Look, all we need the writ for is to get them safe passage to the town and the right to camp within close range of it. I doubt that the Watch are going to come out and arrest them following that.
No, I think that's true.
I think he'll meet us in the middle here. And if anyone asks, the Graf's reputation is saved because it was all done legitimately.
Exactly. I think he's on side. He just wants to save face and not do anything illegal.
And anyone beyond the 10 that are healthy can come with us on the hunt.
There weren't scores of them anyway.
No. All Amelie needs to do is meet us at the town gates to welcome her company. And she can return to her residence until we...
Yeah. And we can see about getting it updated and perhaps extended. I'm sure these things must happen.
Yeah, there's no date on it. It doesn't say this is valid until, but that's largely because mercenaries don't tend to live very long, so it's no point in putting like it lasts this long because this is not something that happens. So, and she sort of says, well, "Look, I am. After what happened, I heard that I'm happy to help, but you understand my limitations."
No, we're great help indeed. Thank you.
We think we can.
I'm sure you will be able to aid us more in imparting your wisdom and an experience to us than merely just lending your strength of sword in arm.
Well, of course, I've seen off more than enough beasts and greenskins to tell tales long into the night.
Well, maybe when this is over, we'll sit round and hear your tales.
I would like that. It'd be good for me to have more friends. And she gives a little wink to Roald.
Even
absolute predator.
She's just friendly. She's a friendly old lady.
Friendly old lady.
Friendly old lady. And like, Tom's got the air of a cavalryman upon her, but she's from Britonia, so
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's a well-respected thing. Yeah, it's a well-respected tradition in Britonia.
Smell the horse on him.
She can smell the horse on you.
Okay.
I have a free day, but I do not think there's anything else I can help you with at the moment.
Well, I think what all you need to do is welcome your new company at the gate at the moment.
Who is this new company?
There are some people that defend that
unit. It's not a company. It's a unit.
There's some people in the forest that were attacked by the mutants last night that need the safety of the town.
Do you know the name of Weber? Lucas Weber?
Young Lucas.
Or Ingrid.
And Ingrid. She's a knight of the Empire.
They're still alive.
Yeah.
I thought
we spoke with them yesterday.
As you obviously have no strong favour towards the Graf, it was his unwise decision that has seen them cast out, and it'd be you that bring them back legitimately. there's some justice in that.
I assumed they died once the Graf had sent them out, but if they're still alive, then of course, yeah. I knew young Ingrid as a girl. I showed her first sword.
Then it'd be a joyous thing to reunite the two of you.
Mm-hmm. Friends again.
Come back to me tomorrow when I've had time to think on it and sleep. But of course, I'll help you. You seem to be doing the right thing for your Sigma. Yes.
For Sigma.
Yes, for Sigma. Yes.
Mm.
Of course. For and she doesn't make the symbol. She's for your Sigma, and she sort of old ladies you out the door a little bit. I need to think on that. She's a bit like, yeah, she's old lady.
I did towards Raoul. She's a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like in a Harry Enfield, like the old lady.
Young man. Yeah.
Young man. Yeah, she's a lot like that. I think we'll call it there. Actually,
Okay.
that's probably quite a good place to call it.
Works for me.
That's good.
I'm glad you planned all that session. That was really good.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? That was
Yeah, it
good.
was.
Yeah.
Well planned. Didn't feel railroaded at all, actually.
That last bit was really planned. Actually, I really planned that last bit. Like,
Yeah.
I sort of
I'm
knew
glad
we
you didn't do anything weird or throw you on that. It was, yeah, good.
That's fine.
Good inspiration for the character.
Yeah. Right. I'm gonna stop our recording now. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you want to stop?